had about, I don't know, 5-6 inches of snow last night. And see the trees off to the right there, gorgeous. And they haven't plowed our road yet. Oh, Highway U is plowed. Of course it is. Stand to the middle of the road here. I don't want to happen to me what happened the other night. Check this out. Yeah, so here I am. Whoa! Here I am on my way home from the shoot today. And I'm about 2 miles from home. And I didn't make the curve. I was only doing about 20 miles an hour. Now the snowplow had come through going northbound, so it was kind of clear, although you can hardly tell now. And it's about a foot deep on the southbound lane, so I was kind of straddling the two lanes. And I came onto that curve, like I said, about 20 miles an hour. Went to turn, and the car just went straight into the ditch. So, called one of my neighbors, Mike Ring, and his son Jedediah. See about pulling me out. 2 miles from home, can you believe it? Here he is with the 1 ton.
Hi, Kevin.
Thanks for coming out, appreciate it.
Yep.
Beats watching what? CSI?
CSI.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out. This is really steep here. Well, they managed to get me out. They're on their way. See you guys. Thanks again. Go straight home now.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Look at this. Look how deep that was and how steep that was. That bank of snow there is about almost 3 feet high. So now home. Yeah, so that was a real hoot. I drove 80 miles that day in that snowstorm. I had no problems until I got 2 miles from home and I go off the road. I want to stay along the lake because the clouds are dark out over the lake, and we want to get that beautiful contrast between the dark sky and these snow-covered trees. Oh my God, is that beautiful? There's a shot right there. I'm going to hit that on the way back. Right now I'm chasing these clouds. The clouds have really thickened up since this morning. I really should have been out this morning. And I'm kicking myself now because it was so nice and warm in bed, and I kept looking out the window thinking, I really should get up. I think there's going to be some awesome light. And I got up around 8 o'clock, about an hour after sunrise, and the light was amazing. And of course I missed it. So I'm hoping to catch something here going into Algoma, down to the lighthouse there in Algoma. It's just a small harbor light, but it can be pretty dramatic under the right conditions. Lots of drifting here. I love this all-wheel drive, man. I love this all-wheel drive. Well, we made it down to the Algoma Lighthouse. There's some really nice light. It looks like it's getting ready to break through. I'm going to hurry up and set up here and then show you what I've got in terms of a composition. So I got to do this fast though because the clouds are really thickening up. They're really rolling in. All right. Okay, well,
I don't know if this light is going to happen or not. It was there briefly, but as I was setting up, the clouds really thickened up. Now I see some blue skies kind of coming this way, so we're going to wait this out and see what happens. But I had to come into the car because it's really windy out here. It's a cold one today. I hope I didn't miss the light. And you know, that happens more often than not. You get to a location, you know where you want to go, you get there, you set up, and you've either missed the light or the light never materializes. So we'll wait it out. I'm set up out there with a 24 to 105 lens, and I think I have it set to about 24 millimeter, maybe 30 millimeters. And I think I'm going to switch lenses actually to the 16 to 35 just to get more drama in the skies. So essentially the composition I have again is that anchor, but there's this band of snow here, right here, that has a leading line out to the lighthouse. Now because I'm shooting at 16 millimeter to get in as much drama in the sky as I can, the lighthouse looks really far away. And that's what you have to live with a super wide angle. Because of the bright sun on the snow, I'm shooting at ISO 200, shutter speed of 200, aperture of f11. I see some crap on my lens too. I gotta get a lens cloth. So I took a panorama of about 6 shots, going from left to right. Try to get in more sky and stitch that together, see how it looks. Again, the light keeps changing. I'm having to change my settings on the fly here. And again, just waiting for the light to be just right. Little windows of opportunity to take the shot. I know it sounds like I might be complaining. I'm not complaining. I love it out here. As cold as it is, I just love being out here. I saw a bald eagle fly by a few minutes ago. There's a pair that live down here in Algoma. So he's out on the prowl. And the way the sun is hitting these hills to the north of me here, beautiful. When I take a panorama, I always shoot, this is just my own personal preference. Other people do it differently. This is just the way that I like to do it. I start at 0, and I always shoot from left to right. And I move it at 16 millimeters with this lens is set at. I move it 15 degrees for each shot. So every shot overlaps by about 30 to 40%, which is what you want to have all that digital information for when you go to stitch it together. It makes it a lot easier for Lightroom to figure out where the stitch begins and ends, and you don't see seams. Usually. Not always. Depends on how quickly the light changes, among other things. How quickly the clouds are moving, that sort of thing. So you want to take them in kind of quick succession and to do it evenly and accurately. Wasn't expecting this at all. Driving past a friend's house here on County U, and the sun is just right on her field here. Normally it's a paddock where she keeps her horses. Beautiful, beautiful. We're gonna stop and get this. So I took some shots in portrait mode. Now I'm going to take some in landscape mode, and I might even take one or two panoramas in portrait mode. But because this fence post is so close here, this one right here, I don't know if you can see it, but if I focus on the trees in the back, this fence post and this fence is out of focus, so I'm going to have to focus stack. So what I'll do is I'll take two images without touching the camera, without touching any of the settings. One focusing on this fence post and one focusing on the background, and then I'll combine the two in Photoshop. So here we go, fence post. And when you combine them as layers in Photoshop, what it'll do is it'll take both of those photos, it'll analyze them and find the pixels that are in focus and the ones that aren't, and it'll only select from those two photos which pixels are in focus and choose those, and it'll make a third picture then, taking the pixels that are in focus from one photo and the pixels that are in focus from the second photo, merge them together, create a third photo. Taking a panoramic shot, it's absolutely critical that your camera base is perfectly level. So that they stitch together properly. It's so bright out here, it's very hard to see this histogram. Alright, so I'm shooting at ISO 100, shutter speed of 200 at f16. So a little bit of play from the Sunny 16 rule. That's alright. Looking at the histogram, it's well balanced. So now this third one in the pano is going to include this fence post in front here, so I'm going to focus on the fence post for one shot, and then the trees in the background for the second shot, and I'll combine those two first and then combine that in Photoshop with my other two shots to the left, the other two shots I took to the left side of this pano. Okay. That's about it for here. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Lee, for letting me use your paddock. Having to make some emergency repairs here. My L bracket came loose while I was out there shooting. And I was in fear of losing my camera off the tripod. Now, snugging this down is really critical. I made the mistake of, just before going on a trip out to Oregon, tightening this too tight, and I stripped the thread, and I had to send it into Canon to get repaired. $450 to repair that, because they had to replace, the entire housing. It's built into the housing. So you don't want to over tighten this screw, that's for sure. One more stop. So we're at our last stop. This is actually on my road. I found a really nice grove of sumac on the way out that was laden down with snow. Well, the gnarly branches and the white snow and the shadows underneath make for interesting compositions using a long lens. And we'll zoom in just on a section of them and get something maybe a little abstract. I'm not big into abstract photography, not like some of my friends like Annie Jack out in Oregon. But see what we can get. Maybe something, maybe nothing at all. Taking pictures from just outside your car door kind of seems like cheating. I mean, the ones you really appreciate are the ones you really have to work for. Not that I didn't work for these. I mean, took up the better part of my afternoon, but still, you know, just roll down the window and shoot from the window. I didn't quite have to do that, but pretty close. Well, that's it for today. Head home now and get some lunch, fire up the snowblower, clear the driveway. I'm sure that's waiting for me, and it's primary election day today, so I have to go and vote too before the day is done. At any rate, this is an interesting day of shooting in heavy, wet snow. We had wind, we had calm, we had blue skies, we had dark skies. We had a lot of different elements today, challenging for photography. And I hope that maybe I was able to show you some different techniques to use when shooting in under snowy conditions, whether it's cloudy or whether it's really sunny like it is right now. Very challenging, high contrast, all of that, and also, you know, shooting panoramas. So appreciate you watching, appreciate you tuning in, and until next time, take care of yourself. We'll see you soon.